I've seen a lot of people crying because Lancaster got nerfed, but I actually think it's the complete opposite. Of course, if you insist on playing the old boomy, stay in my base and make manor style, then yeah, Lancaster got the nerf bad. But today, I will show you how the latest manor change actually buffed an amazing style that, by the way, does not include any feudal age aggression with lords. This is a build so strong that will have you winning games in less than 10 minutes if your opponent does not react to it appropriately. So let's get started. This build is great because we will only have to build a single manor in the early game. We will position it in a place where its influence will catch every single villager we have in food, wood and gold. If we do this correctly, this manor can give us the same income of up to 2.5 old manors, which is insane. From here, we will use our lord to either distract our opponent or defend ourselves while we macro into the castle age. By the 7:30 minute mark, we will have a white tower protecting all of our resources, 5 chats that will go straight up to the enemy base and start causing damage, and 2 finished stables that will be constantly producing knights, which, by the way, get a 20% HP increase when near our 4 lords, making it one of the tankiest knights in the whole game. Our economy, with only 1 manor, will be so good that we are going to be able to sustain knight production constantly for a very long time. This is honestly one of the strongest builds you can do right now. And it also has a lot of room for adaptability, in case you get attacked in the feudal age or in case you need to disrupt your opponent early on with a spearman rush. Now, let's get into the build. First, send every villager to the sheep and use your scout to go around your base looking for as many sheep as possible. The first 3 villagers will build a mining camp at the gold and a house. The next 3 will go to the food for a total distribution of 9 on sheep and 3 on gold. Once you have the resources, build the Abbey of Kings with the 3 villagers from the gold vein. Immediately after, send 2 foot villagers to the stone and 4 to a nearby straggler tree. Your TC rally point should be on the gold until you reach 4 villagers there. Then set it back to the sheep. Once you have mined 100 stone, send the 2 stone villagers to the remaining straggler trees. And once you have gathered 175 wood, send the 4 villagers on straggler trees to the sheep. Immediately after aging up, use 4 villagers from the gold to build a manor, in a way that it will get all your gold villagers and all your sheep villagers. If possible, try to get the woodline as well, but there will be cases where your gold will be really far away from the woodline, so if it can't reach, don't worry about it. Now, let's pause here for a second. At this point, you should be watching with your scout what's going on at your opponent's base. If he is just trying to gather gold, stone, or any other exposed resource like a deer pack, send your free lord over there to apply some pressure. Send it back when he gets damaged and continue your build as normal until castle age. But against some civilizations that like to make a lot of units early, you will have to make a choice. Do you want to keep going castle age with just your lords and maybe a tower in your gold, or do you want to stay in feudal and fight? The good thing about this build is that if you want to stay in feudal and fight, you can put your manor right next to the woodline and start gathering from there instead. This way you can still influence most of your villagers and transition into a bunch of military production buildings and units. If you want a more detailed version of how to play this way, I made a guide about this some time ago. It is before the patch though, but I still explain a lot of the theory behind playing with lords and aggression in feudal age. If you decide that you can reach castle age without being interrupted, then continue with the build as normal. With a final distribution of 7 gold, 2 on wood, and the rest of your villagers on food, you should be able to start building your white tower with 8 villagers at around the 620 mark. If you think you are going to be attacked soon, send even more villagers to build. Your gold will be the most important resource after you age up, so place it right there. If you can also protect your woodland with it, then that would be amazing. While we are building the landmark, set your rally point to wood and leave it there for the rest of the game. If later you need to balance your eco, then just grab villagers from the woodline and send them to the resource you need. Also, take a couple of your gold villagers and start building 2 stables. Additionally, make 1 extra lord from your Abbey of Kings. After your white tower is finished, distribute your eco like this: 10 on sheep, 12 on gold, 1 on stone, and the rest on the woodline. In this example, I did not go for the 12 on gold, but this is actually bad because now we will need gold for the 2 stables knight production, for economic and blacksmith upgrades, and for monks from the monastery, so make sure you don't make this mistake. As soon as we age up, rally the men-at-arms that spawn from the white tower to your opponent's base along with your lords. If you are being attacked, then use them to defend yourself. Immediately start producing a couple of knights and don't stop producing them for a while. These guys will be extremely useful to gain map control, get relics, and raid our opponent. In some cases, we might even be able to hit them with a timing attack to win the game. The 2 lords, 3 men-at-arms, and constant knight production might be able to win from here. But if that's not the case, then we just keep gathering wood and we start building a blacksmith and a monastery to get relics and upgrades. We can later transition into either archery ranges or barracks. I like to go for archery ranges, since it's most likely that your opponent will produce spearmen and crossbows to deny your knights and lords, and yeomen will be an awesome counter to that. By the way, after a while, your ship will probably run out, and you will need to go on your berries or any other exposed resource for food. This is why our one guy on stone is really important, by the way. By the time you have to move out, you will have enough stone to build another manor and keep all your villagers under the influence. From now on, every time you move out, make sure you place a manor to keep at least 10 of your villagers under a manor. Having 10 villagers under a manor will make it produce the same resources as a manor from before the nerf. So this number is key. From here on, just keep producing units, research all your economic upgrades, and start making farms around your manors like this. You should be able to get most of the relics on the map, and your manors should be giving you a ton of passive resources. So at this point in the game, your eco should be really good. You can decide whether to win the game in the Castle Age with your superior units and your economy, or you could even go to Imperial Age if you are in a really good position. Now, there are a couple of variations you can do to this build. For example, you can open with a Spearman Rush against Knight Civilizations and then transition into this fast castle, or you can also make a tower in your gold at some point if you need some protection from enemy units while aging up. So be sure to keep scouting what your opponent is going for and adapt accordingly. This build is extremely hard to counter, but I think the best thing you can do against it is to pressure the gold early. Don't bother with a Spearman Rush, by the way, since Lancaster villagers can also shoot. Instead, go to Feudal and make units to start pressuring their gold, since Lancaster in general is extremely gold hungry. They need gold to age up, to make lords, and to make hovelers. So try to attack their gold vein in any way you can and as soon as possible. Also, the good thing is this build is really easy to scout. If you see your opponent mined only 100 stone, and if you see a ton of villagers on gold, let's say more than 5, and almost no villagers on wood, then you can be certain that he's going for a fast castle. If for any reason you are both in Castle Age at the same time, you will need to produce either your own knights to contest the map control and the relics, or crossbows to defend yourself from all the armored units that will start arriving at your base. Now, let's go over 3 games I played recently using this build. 2 of them showcase how you can win before the 10-minute mark when going against an opponent that does not react appropriately to this. And the last game showcases how to adapt against a player that decides to pressure your gold early. Alright, so we're going into the first game. We're playing against an Ottoman player, and here in this map I always like to scout pretty close to my base and then around like this. The reason for this is because Lancaster always starts with so much sheep. Look, I have 7 sheep already under my base, so I can do really long scouting pattern. So right now he's going to go through this path here that I already scouted, so he's not going to get anything from there, and he's going to go straight behind my base. So right now the sheep count is pretty even, 3-2, but I'll be able to find some more here and he'll be able to find some more behind here. So right now against Ottomans, you have to keep thinking whenever you go into a game, what can the opponent do to me to prevent my fast castle? What he can do is maybe start with a military academy and maybe poke my villagers a little bit with their units. But the good thing is that these guys can actually shoot, so if he does that, I will be able to just defend myself with villagers. So he decides to not do that and just go straight for Feudal Age. And by the way, here I got such a nice spawn with the stone and the gold vein that I was able to get the 100 stone I need with just 1 mining camp. So I managed to get the mining camp here in a way that I do not need to build another one. So I save 50 wood that way, which is going to allow me to get a little bit of a faster timing with my stuff. So right now here we're just following the build, 4 on gold and the rest on food. I already mined the resources that I needed for my manor. I will place it here because later I will need to go into these berries. My wood line is very far away, as you can see, so I need to only catch my foot villagers and my gold villagers. And later when my sheep runs out, I will be able to gather these berries without having to build a mill. So pretty nice. Here my villagers derping a little bit, trying to drop off in the longest route possible. And my opponent is already building his first military school. And I'm using my lord to start harassing him, because he doesn't have pretty much any units yet. He's producing a Sipahi, but this takes so long to produce from here. And I assumed that he wanted to go for a fast castle, but because I went for the Abbey of Kings, I have a lord that will be able to deny his gold. And I left it here, by the way, and not here, because I was worried that he already had units. But take a look at this. He's 2 military schools up and 2 stables just producing, but it is so late that, or more appropriately, the white tower is so fast that I am already building it, and he still is just getting his production up. He sees that I am aging up, by the way. He just saw it with his scout, so he cancels his stables and he immediately goes for castle age, because he understands that armored units are about to get into his base. So I'm already sending my lords over there, and now the 3 guys from here, they don't pop up immediately because I was constructing the house, but there they go. I have my 2 stables. Don't worry about the manor not being here yet. I will get that soon enough with my 1 villager here, and I am just trying to deny him from going up. He's trying to, but there's already so many units here. He gets my 2 lords, but he loses all of his units for it, and now I'm denying his gold. He manages to start building his thing here, but he doesn't have any gold already. He needs to go into this faraway gold mine that's over there, but I already have knights looking for where his villagers went, as you can see. And this already is GG, guys. Look at this. I can just dive because these are castle age units, and that's it. That is game. You know what happens? This is what happens when you don't react appropriately to that kind of stuff. And by the way, this guy is conquered too, so this is not a bad player. This build is just that good. Okay, so now we're going against another conqueror player. This time he's playing Byzantines. And as you just saw, going for boom against this is really dangerous, because he tried to go for a double military academy in the last game, and he was so slow to produce units or to go to castle age that he was just dead at the moment that I aged up. So this is going to be another example of a player that tries to go for a greedy strategy and does not respect the fast castle age from the Lancasters. So let's see what happens here. Let's actually speed up a little bit the Dark Age. And I got quite a few sheep, by the way, and I saw that he was trying to cut me off here, but because I am Lancaster, I have so much more sheep. He gets, I think, 8 in the end. I tried getting all the other sheep that I had on this side. I have 9, so right now I have a little bit more than him. He has 10, and I know that because his scout was here, he probably didn't scout the other side of the map correctly, like you see here. So I'm going to take advantage of that and scout the parts that he didn't scout. So right now I'm going for that, and let's slow it down here now a little bit. I saw when I went through here that he was mining a lot of stone, so I know he's not going to have any units pretty soon. So I'm just sending my first lord over there as soon as my manor completes. By the way, manor, once again, the woodland is very far, so I just try to get as many villagers that I can under my food and under my gold. And my king is going over there and start harassing his stone villagers. And at this point I thought he was going for 5 cisterns, but he was, as you see in the number here, he's actually going for a second town center. This is the worst thing you can go for against a Lancaster player that is going for fast castle. I don't think he notices that, because his scout is here trying to get cheap. I'm delaying as much as I can with my lord, by the way. I delayed him quite a bit. He's really late with his second town center, and he's only a cistern level 1. So my lord already did a ton of damage, so I'm just sending him back to heal himself. And I'm going up with the white tower. I put it here because it will defend my berries as well as my gold, and I have a ton of food to work with. So I start going into my stables. I am building my lord, and I am rallying my white tower also here to start going over there once my earth guards come out. So double stable, really awesome timing, and he's trying to wall himself up because he sees that I'm already aging up. So he thinks this is going to This is going to help, but this actually just delays him. If he wanted to wall himself, he could probably do it a little bit more closer to his base. But this is not the answer. He already committed a mistake by going into the second town center, and he's still going for stone because he wants his sister level 5, and my lords and earth guards are already here. So this TC is actually crap. It deals less damage than the standard TC, so I can just dive like this. And now he has 10 villagers, 20, more than 20 villagers idle. He's not gathering resources, as you can see here. If you see in the resources tab, I am actually so ahead with just one manor, and I can start killing his spearmen like this. I think he went into spearmen because he saw that I had a double stable, but the freemen at arms and the lords are just enough to deny any kind of spearmen that my opponent may have. So even if I'm going knights, these free melee units that I have are already awesome to counter his spears. So I start going around looking for damage. I saw that he had a cistern here, so I thought that maybe there were some villagers there, and I finally found the jackpot. And I keep producing units, guys. I never stop producing units. I keep rallying them over there. I keep producing more lords as well, because I see that he's making a ton of limit A. But these are feudal age units, guys. I can just beat them even with the knights. So what you want to do here is, if you have knights and you have armored units, try for the armored units to get in front of the knights, and then you can attack with the knights at the spearmen, because they will not be attacking the units they counter. They will be attacking the lords instead. And at this point, it's just GG again, because he cannot do anything about this amount of castle age units diving his second TC. So just try to scout, guys. Don't boom against this. Booming against this is just a death sentence. Now we're going to the last game, and I know some people are gonna say that, okay, Swaggy, you just showed two guys that didn't scout and just died instantly to this build. So I'm going to show a guy that actually tried to do what I said in the how to counter part of the video, which is harass the gold. So let's see, we're going against an English player, and we are getting a ton of sheep, and as always we can do such long paths with our scout because we have so much sheep under our base just starting off. If we see, he already out of sheep. He's only got one under his base. He actually has one here, but yeah, his scout is, I think, going behind mine at this point. Kind of. He will get this part, but he will get all the other side of the map. I think, let's actually see his vision. Yeah, so I'll probably get all of this part, and he will get the rest. So I think we both did pretty similar scouting patterns in terms of sheep gathering. But yeah, that is it for sheep, and he's going into the Abbey of Kings. I still didn't see this. What my concern was in this game was longbows, actually, because if he made a council hall, for example, the distance between one base to another is actually really small in this map. A couple of longbows here could pretty much deny the gold gathering that I have, but he went into Abbey of Kings instead, and the Lord can actually fight pretty well against the King. So what I'm going to do is, in the past few games, I think I sent my Lord to harass, so this time I will keep it here and use it to protect my villagers that are going to be harassed by his king pretty soon. And this time I see that I have a woodline here, and I place my manor here just so I can get pretty much every villager here, and later I don't have to build a camp here. This was a misclick, by the way. I did not mean to send these units over there, and I'm here looking at what he has. I saw that he has a stable, so he's sending horsemen immediately over there. So I immediately used the wood that I have to build a small wall here. So now the only point of attack that he has is here. Now I understand that he's making a ton of units, so I make an extra lord. You can do this because you have so much food and gold. You can make an extra gold to help protect the units that he is going to make. And he just went for one stable, so he's trying to go into a small harass into farms, as we can see here. So he's doing his best to micro his units back, because he can heal them with the king and he can start attacking my units. But I can also heal, by the way. He tries to keep attacking my lords because he knows that he needs the lords to stay in battle, in order for them to not heal. So when this sword starts getting bad in HP, I just send him back. And once he's out of battle, I can send him back to heal. As you can see here, once he enters the area, he starts to heal. And I use the rest of the wood that I have to build a tower. And here I think he mismicroed and went a little bit too close to my TC and loses every single horseman he has. So attacking into this is, as you can see, is really annoying, by the way, because you have villagers that can shoot, you have guys that can heal and that are very tanky, and the Lancaster TC can also shoot extra arrows. So attacking into this is actually very hard. And let's say, for example, if I saw that he had Council Hall instead of Kings, of Abbey of Kings, I would have made a tower a little bit here so I can use the range of the tower to protect myself from the longbows. So that is something you have to consider as well if your opponent is making archers instead. So right now I'm already aging up. He is really far away from aging up, as you can see. And the bad thing about English is that their economy is actually really bad at the beginning of the game. So I have 8 villagers here building this thing, and I actually have almost the same income because of the manor. So that is actually insane, really insane. And I don't have to build a lumber camp here. By the way, because I use a ton of wood for these walls and these towers, I only have enough wood for a stable once I age up. But that is fine. I was able to survive, and now my opponent needs to build the white tower really fast. I think I didn't see it until now, so that's when I'm moving in. So this is just to survive, but as you know, English without a second TC and with a white tower, yes, he can make units and he can survive, but his economy is going to be really bad. So I take only one villager there, but I think I did a ton of damage, and I killed a few horsemen and the scout. And now he has to go onto this very exposed gold mine, by the way, because this one is already interrupted by my unit. So I understand that he must be somewhere. I am looking for him right now. I thought he was here at first, and I sent another knight here to check. But right now he's going into spearmen, but as you know, we already have a few lords here to counteract that. So I kept I think this was a mistake by me, by the way. I kept my units here because I was afraid that he would just move his units back, but in retrospective I thought that maybe I should have sent every single unit here. And even if he moved all his villagers into this gold again, that is still damage, because he has to move his villagers. That is idle time. So I should have been moving my guys over there much faster. I am doing it right now. As you can see, I am queuing the movement over there, because I need a way to deal with the spearmen that he is producing to defend himself. But yeah, the good thing is that I can also heal myself. So all of these knights are really banked up. I'm just going to send them to heal, and because I didn't end the game right there, I cannot end him because he has a white tower. I go into monastery. I already have one relic and I'm getting another one, and I am going into upgrades. So blacksmith and so many archery ranges, because he now needs to produce spearmen, and he needs to go into crossbows because I have so many armored units. So my response, I am already pre-responding to what he's going to do, is going to be archers, as you can see here. He manages to take this monk out, but that is fine. He is really behind. Look at the units here, by the way. I have 2 villagers ahead and so many more units. And I think some of these units are horsemen, which are unupgraded, and his spearmen are still from the feudal age, as you can see. So now he sees me coming and he sends all his villagers back over here, but that's already so much more idle time that he has to worry about. And here there's nothing he can do about my army, but at the same time there's nothing I can do about his white tower. So right now what I'm doing is just denying him resources. I'm going around his base, denying him resources. And I understand he might be here, but because the white tower is right there and I only have melee units, it is really hard for me to do something about that. So right now I am just scaling into archers and crossbows, because he also has a lot of knights. I managed to get a few villagers here. I'm not sure if that was worth. I think it was, because I think I lost like 2 or 3 kings. That was probably a mistake, a misclick, I think. So I still got 3 villagers, so I'm really ahead at this time. And because he does not have a second TC, like I mentioned before, losing villagers is really bad for him. I have my manor. I am also making some manors here, because I am going into these berries, and I will probably go into this woodline later. So always remember to remake the manors when you move out into other resources. So really important. He is doing a really good job at denying the relics, by the way. This was really interesting that he managed to do that. But because I know most of his units are over there, I decided to just send it. And I get a few villagers here more, which is really important because, as I said, he's 1TC, and he thought that he was going to be able to kill me here. But I have lords. I have better units. I have upgrades. So there is no way in hell that he can beat my army at this time. So even if I make a really fast castle with one manor, our army is still going to be really good, and I can just heal things back like this. This is so strong, by the way, because all of these units are really healthy. As you can see, they will have almost 270 HP knights with the help of our lords. I'm missing one lord. I'm remaking it right now. Never forget to remake your lords. I see people that always forget to do that, and I keep looking around with my knights to see whether he's on this gold or he's on other golds. And here, I think he thought that I was going to go into a ton of earth guards or spearmen due to the initial lords and earth guard attack that I did with the free earth guards from the White Tower. So I think that's why he started making springles. But this was actually a big mistake because I am going into a ton of archers and crossbows that springles do nothing against. So here I just keep raiding. I keep using my knights to gain control of the map. I think I saw this at some point with my guy, by the way, and I started making a ton of walls, but I was really slow to react here. So I sent my knights there because I know he was going there with my knights, with his knights, but I was really slow to react with my villagers. So he gets, I think, 2 villagers there for his troubles. And here, what I do, I think I talked about this in one of my videos. I just shift click them at some point. So these guys will continuously chase the knights. As you can see now, they are shift clicked. And I don't have to worry about these knights anytime soon. So here I start attacking his houses, and I start making traps to start hitting his TC and his White Tower. And I just start positioning myself here with all my army, which is really strong. So he has to go on the back. He's actually mining here, which I didn't see at the time, but yeah, because he's distracted, I can just start attacking with my knights over here. And now the final battle, he is only having hardened spearmen still, so they're not upgraded because his economy is actually crap. And he's going to crossbows, but as you can see, I have 4 lords, I have so many units, so many knights, so much better economy and military that I can just completely destroy his army without any care in the world. His springles mean nothing to knights and to ranged units, and even to the lords that he's supposed to be countering. So this is just an amazing army and an amazing eco that you can have with this build. And even if they try to pressure you, you can still manage to get into fast castle and get a pretty amazing win. So really nice build.